everybody? Welcome back. I mean, it's a packed show today, which is kind of insane because it is August. It is supposed to be dead. But no, bad behavior is in abundance. And frankly, I blame the weather, at least here in New York. Frankly, it's like living inside Mother Nature's armpit. It is hot, it is moist, and frankly, again, because it's New York City, it is smelly. And woo, people are getting real weird, which is crazy because usually in the celebrity game, maybe not so much the royal game, but yeah, even them, because they're supposed to be on vacation, right? Celebrity game, everybody knows August is where you recoup, you rejuvenate, and then you come back. But no, it is backed today. All right, so once again, Harry. My God, this guy, he just won't quit. He's once again blackmailing Pa. Oh, that poor guy with his whole Pa, let the world see us together play in the mirror. It's starting to look like a trap. I mean, a huge one. And I'm starting to ask, did he put the Invictus Games in Birmingham just to blackmail King Charles into showing up? I mean, we know he's not above blackmailing him. He's tried emotional blackmail with those kids, and now he's got, hey, Dad, you gotta show up. Meanwhile, the royal money gap is brutal. William and Catherine's Royal Foundation raked in over $10 million from American donors last year. They're pretty popular. Unfortunately, that is why Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation, so sorry, now philanthropies, pretty much had to fold from lack of funds. Ooh, I think we know who wins there. We'll get into it. And take a wild stab at why Princess Eugenie gave birth in Portugal instead of merry old England. Ooh, it's a good one. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise's youngest daughter, Suri, is performing at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? You guys, I need some Scots or Brits to let me know. I think it's Edinburgh Film Festival. Anyway, there we go. Don't yell at me. I do have a British passport, but haven't lived there in a little while. Also, haven't been to Scotland in like 4 years, but frankly, I would go for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and also I'd go for Suri, because I'd show up, even though Daddy Tom won't. We're going to get into that too. Across the pond, we've got former rep Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's joined Cameo, charging really absurd money for some insanely silly video messages. Brooklyn Peltz-Beckham gets brutally listed as an aspiring cook by the air fryer company he's shilling for. I mean, you'd think he'd get something else into the contract, right? Like cook, chef, husband of billionaire S. Nicola Peltz. No, aspiring chef. And we're going to revisit why anyone still wants to hire or be around Jared Leto, especially after the Morbius method acting meltdown that we found out about, and the creepy pervert rumors that we have all heard about for decades, not just years. We're talking decades here. He's a well-known grocer, all right, especially when it came to women's whispers, and we whisper a lot, especially when it comes down to some dude hitting you up in the DMs. And no. We also have a special bonus coming up, too. I'm going to let you guess what that is. We'll get into it later. But first up, hold up. First up, we've got our favorite ginger whinger, Prince Harry. So I spoke with my friend JJ Anasiabi over at Daily Espresso, which is the Daily Express's daily podcast. A lot of S's in there. I'm spitting it up at it. But listen, it's a great podcast. It's the number one in UK daily. It's great. JJ also is an old school friend of mine. Love him. And here's what he had to say about Harry's latest public nonsense. Uno el momento. I love it when I try to pretend that I am multilingual.
Even hosting the games, the Invictus Games in the UK, meant that the royal family were, in a way, being blackmailed. There's no way Harry could have the Invictus Games on British soil and not one single member of the royal family don't turn up to it. That can't happen. That would look so bad. And if he did the Invictus Games and no one turned up, all the papers will say Harry snubs. King Charles snubs Harry. We don't expect William and Catherine to go, regardless, but we would expect King Charles to make an appearance. Now, whether King Charles goes on the opening ceremony or the closing ceremony, I don't suspect that's going to happen. What I've been told is that Charles is likely to attend, and he'll pick a day during the week that is one of the quieter days where there's less events on. That's when he'll go. Because also, a lot of the teams competing are Commonwealth countries. So how bad would that look? That the king of the Commonwealth, his own subjects who have injured themselves, dying for his kingdom, and they're now on his soil, trying to restart their lives, trying to have something to fight for, something to live for every day, and he doesn't go there and salute those brave men and women. That can't happen. So just by virtue of having the games here, Harry has forced the royal household to send someone.
Okay. That, yeah. JJ's not wrong. I mean, you've got something for wounded veterans. Yes, Invictus is insane. And yes, Harry tends to spend other people's money like a drunk monkey. But it does look bad if Commonwealth veterans are at an event and the king doesn't show up. And yeah, I agree with JJ. It is yet another form of Harry blackmailing dear old Pa and Pa giving into it. I mean, he kind of has his hands tied. Yes, it's in Birmingham. Yeah, they're all going to get booed, but Harry will get his royal protection. He'll get the blues and twos if dad is there. And that also means that Meghan and the kids can show up, which is what they want. Or at least Meghan will show up. The kids probably not. You know, she's still going to put like heart emojis on their face and just show the back of their heads, whatnot. But then Meghan can once again show up at Invictus and shill her trauma closet. Yay! But, you know, apparently, if you want to blackmail somebody, blackmail King Charles because he's down for it when it comes to his grandkids and his son. But still, you know, this is not going to help Harry and Meghan's popularity rate. Nobody really likes them. We've already talked about the 18% popularity rate in the UK, which is pretty bad. It's right down there with being shitteous, actually. But this is when you know you've kind of lost the war. It was announced today that William and Catherine's Royal Foundation raked in over $10 million from American donors last year. That is wild. That's the year, by the way, that Archewell had to fold into a philanthropies thing, which is basically in my opinion, a kind of money laundering thing for tax reasons and all this other crap. But nobody's given to Harry and Meghan. They're all donating to William and Catherine. So I think we know who wins. Look at this. I mean, I do. I love them. They won. Hands down. Good on you guys. All right, now we are going to their cousins. Eugenie, and why she gave birth in Portugal instead of merry old England. And that's old with an E. It's, I guess, oldie British England, whatnot. And it's basically because she can't have her parents showing up. She also can't give birth in England and not pop by and show dad his new granddaughter. No, I think he has another one, but her only daughter can't do it. So she just said, you know what? We're going to take all this weirdness out of the equation. Mom is still off in Switzerland hiding out. Thank God. Dad is still on basic house arrest and, you know, on the estate. And even though there's a court case coming up about his supposed stalker, apparently there was a dog that interrupted the case today. He's not showing up. He's still hiding out. She doesn't want to have to deal with it because Eugenie and her sister Beatrice are desperate to keep their titles. They have to be princesses. They're desperate to be princesses and keep their connections. And they can't do either if mom and dad keep hanging around. So, long arm. I'm dying to know what's going to happen on the baptism, though. I mean, are mom and dad going to come in through the back door like they did last time? I don't know. But she definitely needs those titles, not just for her own ego, which, by the way, is quite large, but because being a princess helps her business, and I'm using that loosely, as an art advisor, and it definitely helps open doors and wallets, by the way, in the Middle East, where she likes to go hang out with the 0.0001%, and as Andrew Lowney has said, accept gifts. And by gifts, we mean $50,000 necklaces, or maybe like her father, just suitcases of cash. That will do. I mean, I would have to say no, but I wouldn't want to. Titles are also, by the way, good for her husband's business, who runs the luxury properties in Portugal. It gives them a little like something, it's also gross. It's the same thing for Beatrice, by the way. Her husband Jack has made her husband Edo has made a ton of dough since he dumped Dara Huang and got on the Beatrice bandwagon. So, at least in the States, they're still princesses. Maybe over in the UK, they're like, ugh. But the States, as we've seen with people like Meghan and Harry, it does take a while. You gotta forgive sometimes. And then just wait. And TikTok, we're waiting. Meanwhile, we're going across the pond for a hot minute because Marjorie Taylor Greene is in the news. Now, I do want to say to all y'all who are going to come after me, I don't want politics. This is not politics. Marjorie Taylor Greene has turned to Cameo to make cash after her pipe dream of becoming a full-time host of The View sadly did not work out for her as she had planned, hoped, and BT Dubs dreamed. I mean, again, I'm not doing politics here, but considering she left her job as a congresswoman midterm while guest hosting The View and doing everything but her actual job, she is no longer a politician. This is no longer politics. And seeing as she is on Cameo, fair game, I say. Now, let's look at her little video because it kind of made me giggle and then I gagged. Hold up.
Everyone, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I am excited to let you know I am now on Cameo. So if you have a special message for a friend or a loved one, I would love to deliver it for you, or any other message for anyone. How do you do it, you ask? You just click on the link and follow the instructions, and we'll be on our way.
All right, well, I am not including that link. If y'all want that link, you can go and Google it because the starting price for one of her personalized videos is $180 according to her profile. But there's even more because this girl needs to pay some bills. She's got some tastes and she just got married in a wedding in Las Vegas and stayed at an expensive hotel. And God bless, when you get married again and again, you gotta splurge every time. It's optimistic, I say, and there's nothing, Marjorie Taylor Greene is nothing if not an optimist. And that is why she's giving an option to make a special business video that will set fans back at least $5,000. Now, businesses that agree to pay $5,000 at least will then be able to use a clip featuring the former congresswoman for a 15-day period for marketing purposes with flexible options for an extended license. But I do have to say, warning, I've listened to some of her messages, and most of the messages come with a healthy side of shade for her former bestie, Donald Trump. It's amazing. She just can't let go. She just can't quit Trump. God bless her. All right, enough of Marjorie. I've had it. I've had it with the cameos. I've had it with that girl. I mean, just before I say I've had it, I do want to tell you some background because I did break the story on News Nation that the View was like, "Oh, you're too liberal," so they decided to start having some conservatives on, right? So they yank on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and because of the publicity, a lot of people dialed in. They were like, "Interesting." So she got big numbers. Then they were like, "We're going to do it again." And they're looking for a permanent host, right? So Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, yes, I shall. And she does it again. Meanwhile, she quits Congress, basically puts up a big old bird to the people who voted her in because she quit midterm and thought she was going to get a SAG-AFTRA salary, which starts BT Dub at $250,000 a year, but sadly that did not work out for her, so now she's on Cameo. Whew. All right, moving on. I hate to say it, it's almost a palate cleanser, but it's not. Yep, we've got Daddy of the Year, Tom Cruise. So here's the deal. Suri, who's going to Case Western, and she had done, hold on, let me get that. Suri went to LaGuardia School of the Arts. She was great. All right. And then she graduated, went to Case Western. This summer, she is, oh dear, hold on. This summer, she is going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. She's actually, by the way, she's supposed to be pretty good. I know people who know her in college, and they're like, yeah, she's super talented. And they all want to support her, except for Daddy. Yeah. Tom Cruise did not show up to her big debut. And I guess in a way, why would he? I mean, he's really just her dad. My God. I mean, I get it. He hasn't seen her in years. She's not a Scientologist and all that other stuff. But damn, dude. Come on, that is your daughter. I am calling some big old BS. I mean, okay, great, I get it. He doesn't want to hang out with anyone who's not a Scientologist, unless, of course, you are a Beckham. Loves him some David and Victoria Beckham, who are, I mean, as of yet, as far as I know, not Scientologists, but they do give him some sheen, I guess, of respectability across the pond, which, I don't know. You guys in the UK tell me what you think of him, because over here, we're still kind of like, kind of creepy. Urgh. Now, meanwhile, speaking of the Beckhams, oh boy, you got poor Brooklyn. This is amazing. So, according to one of my favorite newsletters ever, it's called Pop Bitch. It's awesome. If you haven't read it or heard of it, go look it up. It is cheeky as hell, and I love it. It specializes basically in UK gossip. Anyway, Pop Bitch wrote today that Brooklyn is signed on as one of the faces and brand ambassadors for Typhor Robotics. I hadn't heard of it either. It's a company that makes futuristic kitchen appliances. And he tried out their air fryer and thermometer. It's great. There's like, look, thermometer, air fryer, love it. And how did they thank him for it? By listing him slightly harshly, in my opinion, on the website as Brooklyn Peltz-Beckham, aspiring cook. I mean, to be fair, he did have his own cooking show on YouTube. He did have his own hot sauce. He's trying to be a cook. And I guess he is a cook. He cooks, according to this photo. He cooks. Yay. But, oh, man, that's bad. He definitely should have had his agents look at that contract and be like, no, he is cook, chef. He is kitchen master. I mean, at least I would have. Because that is crazy. All right, so Pop Bitch also had a really good one today about Creepy McCreeperton. Jared Leto. So I'm going to take you back, and then we're going to get into the really, really gross stuff. So Poppage said Jared's attempt to cash in on the Marvel dollars with the 2022 Spider-Man spinoff Morbius was an unmitigated PR disaster. I mean, who would have thunk? But not for the reasons that he's dealing with now. The film completely bombed, was yanked early by Sony, and when Sony re-released it because of all the memes, it pulled in a humiliating $289 in ticket sales per theater. I mean, this costs millions to make, right? Over 100 million. God bless him. The movie has just a 15% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and apparently Jared himself was an absolute nightmare on set. Again, shocker. He went full method actor and ticked off all of his coworkers by limping around everywhere, even when the cameras weren't rolling. I mean, can you imagine? I have to go to the bathroom. Everyone's probably like, God, shut up, Jared. He demanded to be in a wheelchair between takes and asked for help going to the bathroom. There we go, because he's limping. He's still in character, right? Can you imagine? I mean, some guy was like, I need help. Get the door. And you're like, dude, you're a fully grown-ass man. No, you can go ahead, do it. But no, not Jared. And knowing Jared, he probably wanted some help with his zipper. All of his shenanigans massively delayed the shooting schedule, and the Doom Monster movie was partly filmed in a bunch of abandoned offices and a hotel in Whitehall during the height of the pandemic in 2020. Now, director Daniel Espinosa's team took over the area for a week, hoping to wrap up quickly, because, again, COVID, but the director was foiled by Leto's continued bizarre behavior. Every single day that week, a doctor was called for Jared, and every single day, Jared failed to appear on set, saying he wasn't feeling it. You know what he was feeling? $15 million he got for that movie. Eventually, the poor director relented and was forced to shoot a bunch of scenes around him. It's insane. I mean, Jared eventually deigned to come on set on Friday at the end of the week, but then changed his mind, deciding that it still didn't quite feel right. What a jackass. Unsurprisingly, when Morbius was released a couple of years later, none of the footage filmed that week appeared in the final edit. I mean, I really want to get into this fool, because that's just some of the bad behavior under the method acting, because everybody wants to be the next Daniel Day-Lewis, who is famous for method acting and going into characters for like a year at a time. God bless him, and God bless his wife even more. Because this fool, Jared Leto, has been a dirty dog for decades. So back in 2005, when I was still at Page 6, we ran an article called Jared Likes Them Young, about his pursuit of teen models that stayed. I mean, that one we were like, yeah, it's true. We talked to all the models. It was kind of gross. Now, meanwhile, that story stayed at the open secret level for 2 decades. 2 decades. Then in 2012, LA DJ Allie Tiles posted on Facebook that Leto tried to force himself on her backstage when she was 17. And for some reason, maybe it was 2012, who can say? That Facebook post was largely ignored at the time. A year later, in 2018, Dylan Sprouse tweeted about Jared sliding into the DMs of every model between the ages of 18 and 25, prompting James Gunn's infamous reply of, he starts at 18 on the internet? Fast forward to May 2025, Allie Teals reshared her 2012 post, adding that, quote, he knew my age and did not care. 1 month later, in June 2025, the dam kind of broke. Because finally, TikTok, 19 years later, Airmail published an investigation with 9 women accusing Jared Leto of sexual misconduct, including allegations involving teenagers. Among them, claims he approached one girl at the age she was 16 and made middle-of-the-night sexual calls. And that model, Laura LaRue, also 16, when they met, says he once walked out of a room nude. I don't want to see that nude. I don't know about you, but the whole manorexic look, no thank you. The expose also described 2000s parties at his home, like in the 2000s, requiring vetted headshots and saying cute girls only. Then, of course, there was the New York Magazine expose on his cult. I can't with this guy. And then, of course, last week, the BBC documentary Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret, features 10 women's stories, 4 of whom allege criminal sexual misconduct, including 2 who say they were 17, 1 who says she was groomed at 16, and 1 alleging actual assault in a motel at 17. Bottom line count, 9 accusers in 2025 expose, 10 featured in the 2026 BBC doc, with some overlap between the 2 groups. Now, I do have to say, for legal purposes, no criminal charges or civil suits have been filed, and Jared categorically denies everything, saying, quote, "I have never sexually assaulted anyone in my entire life." I mean, to be fair, you say potato, I say potato. But still, again, all this crap goes back to 2005, and in the ensuing years, he has still been treated so well, right? He's been Anna Wintour's darling and a Met Gala fixture for a decade, appearing over and over and over. Not just in this photo where he's, holding up his own head. Oh my God, how chic, how crazy, how line crossing. Appeared in a cat suit, where he literally looked like a plushie/furry. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It gets weird. And even while rumors and allegations of his crap behavior swirled, now listen, nobody will defend him out loud, but they were all still there. Everyone knew. And WME, his agency, Disney, and Amazon kept cashing in anyway. They kept getting him $15-17 million a picture, even though just because the suits love him, audiences don't. 4 of his last 5 movies have been absolute bombs, like flushing cash down a diarrheal drain pipe. June 2026, Masters of the Universe, bomb. Then, October 2025, we had Tron Ares, bomb. Haunted Mansion in 2023, a bomb. And of course, Morbius in 2022, bomb. Now, meanwhile, you guys understand that all of those movies I just talked about, almost every single one was made for over $100 million. And he got his big $15 to $17 million paycheck, and they all knew about his problem. Not to mention, frankly, he ain't that great of an actor. So why is this guy still getting paid millions per gig, or any gig at all? Seriously, you tell me, because I am absolutely flummoxed, I tell you. I don't get it. It's like, this guy, they're going to let go be the manorexic Harvey Weinstein of the movie cinema world and keep forcing him on us, even though the audience says, no, we don't want him. He gives me the creep and the icks. I don't know. I don't get it. It's yet another case of people in Hollywood deciding for us what we like and what we will put up with. And to that, I say, F you guys. All right, now, special bonus. I pled the other day for Aging Rockers to call it a day, and Deep Purple singer Glenn Hughes heard me. God bless Glenn Hughes. He's quitting his tour to have heart surgery. I mean, love you, Glenn. See you on the other side. And by the other side, I mean of your hospital visit, and hopefully not on stage. I like to keep my memories of Glenn when he was bare-chested and smoking hot. I don't want to see him on stage right now. I don't. It hurts me. My Lord. All right, you guys. That is about it. Now, up until about 2 hot seconds ago, Doug was willing to make an appearance. He was. We had called a détente, but he's walked away. And so I'm so sorry. I can't give you Doug now. I will put him up in the posts in a hot second right after this. And I will not be here tomorrow because I don't know if you know this, but I grew up on and below the Mason-Dixon, and I love me a county fair. So I'm going up to Ulster County for the county fair. What? I'll be in transit and most likely a beer in my hand and fuffing around with some sort of dartboard or dipping pool or some sort of water squirty gun game because I like it. And I'm really hoping there's a mini rodeo. I don't know. It's New York, so you never know what you're going to get. However, I will see you on Saturday where I reunite with my brother from another mother, Tom Sykes, for the Sussex Crash Report. It's all a big old roundup, and I love it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. And by the way, yes, Doug is coming with me to the county fair. According to the internet certification I have, he is a service dog, and he can get in places like county fairs. I just got to keep him away from the bulls. It's just how it is. All right, thank you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I will take some videos of Doug at said fair, and I will post some photos because I think everybody should go to a county fair or a state fair. I used to go to the Ohio State Fair and the Kentucky one. They were fabulous. All right. Mwah. Love you guys. Have a great, great weekend, and I will catch you Saturday and Monday.